Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. So today, I want to talk about. I don't know exactly how to approach in terms of phrasing what I'm thinking. This is a reflection upon my experiences paying attention to financial media. As you guys probably already know, if you've watched any of my videos, uh, I am a AMC investor, aka an ape. I don't have a whole lot of shares. I would never tell anybody how many shares I have, of course, because that doesn't appear to be the smart thing to do. Um, as well as I don't want anybody to think that because I have a certain amount of shares, I think I'm in a space that is either more or less important than any other ape. I don't believe I am. If you own one share, if you own 100 shares, if you own 1,000 shares or even more, the point in regards to what we're doing is to expose yourself to what could possibly be a squeeze. In short, a money tree. So it doesn't really matter as long as you're exposed and you're holding. You're part of the solution, or what we think is the causation of what this thing could be. So what I'm seeing is a lot of new people jumping on board, getting involved, but they don't really understand the environment that they're entering. They don't know how financial media naturally operates. So, because I am someone who jumped in super, super, super green, what I mean by that is I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was in the middle of going through a very, very dark time in my life, and I had a lot of time and I had money to throw at something. So I figured while I'm going through what I'm going through, this could be something to get my mind off of things. Let me learn how to invest. I just understood at that time, I had just begun to understand the concept of what money's supposed to do. Um, I had recently read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad that just kind of gave me the most basic understanding of what money is, changed my entire concept of what money's about. And from there, just like most people, um, I just started to get curious about trading. I got myself an investment account, a Robinhood account for free investing, and just started throwing money in there. Got myself a Fidelity account, did the same thing. And what ended up happening was I ended up running into all of the mistakes that new investors run into. I ended up running into all of uh, the pitfalls that end up costing people money. But what it did was it allowed me to have made all of those mistakes so that now when I'm an ape, uh, some of the stuff that people are going through that they think is unique to AMC and GME, I actually already understand is how actually things operate. And the first thing in regards to that and the most important thing I think in regards to that I wanted to come here and talk about was the financial media posts that are coming out telling you not to buy AMC, telling you, um, you know, that basically you should put your money in other stocks, and here are the suggestion of the stocks that you should share into. I think what most apes don't realize is that is how things actually go in stocks, with a lot of stocks all day long. Your market watches, your Motley Fools, uh, Reuters, and some of these other platforms, this is what they do all the time. They put out the same type of copy and paste text type of financial media posts, and all they really remove is the details of why and the particular stock, but the format is always the same. For example, here's why you shouldn't buy GHT. Making up my own stuff just to say. So if that's a real one, I'm not trying to consider at all. This is me making up a ticker symbol so that you guys can see the example. GHT. This is GHT. So the headline will be, you should ditch THT and look into such and such such, such and such such, such and such and such, because they are evaluated in comparison better than GHT. So this is why we think that. And then it's written by somebody at the bottom, and that's how that goes. That is a copy and paste formula that has been used the entire time I've been investing. I've been in for what? Let's say about 5-6 years. I've been playing around with stocks. Maybe a little less, about 5 years. They always had that kind of stuff. back in the day when I first got started with stocks, my favorite stocks, and I no longer am exposed to these, so I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just telling you what I was into, was CRISPR. Um, I don't remember what the ticker symbol, I think it's CSPR or something like that, CRISPR, which is like an innovative stem cell technique that's being used that could be really, really a big deal. If you look into it, it's super interesting, change the world type stuff. So CRISPR was what I was into, and then iQIYI, which is like a Chinese YouTube-ish type of thing, right? So that's what I was involved in. And so I got super, super passionate about reading about these particular companies every day. And what I was running into was these exact same type of articles. Every time I would click on my to check my stock, seeing how we're doing, they would always have those articles at the bottom, just like they do now. You click on them, they say the exact same things that these articles are saying right here about AMC. They're literally the same thing, copy and paste. As I said, the format's the same. They'll just change the details about why and the particular stock's name. So I said all that to say, yes, should we be outraged that AMC is being attacked with all of these different articles of basically FUD? Yeah, we should, because they've turned it up. What I see is what I saw 5 years ago times 9. Like, they're coming out with a lot more frequently. Look, even back then, I know people are familiar with FUD threads, where what you'll do is you'll go on a forum, particularly these days, either Yahoo, I see a lot of those on there, Yahoo Finance has a lot of those type of threads, or Wall Street Bets, unfortunately, has been compromised quite a bit lately, which was expected, but you got this much money involved. But what you see is these threads of FUD. So you'll hop on there and you'll see a paragraph written out saying something negative about your stock. Then you'll look in the comments, and it seems like everybody agrees with that negative sentiment. You'll see maybe 1 or 2 people that don't agree with that negative sentiment. That's a FUD thread. The whole thread was created to not only plant a seed, but also provide those that will agree to double down on the seed that's been planted in your head. It's a psychological technique, but it's not unique for this era. They've been doing this. So if you're going to be outraged not because you're being attacked specifically, but because this is the way they've been doing this the whole time, and it's time to stop. That's where I'm at with it. And so I wanted everybody to know, like, the New Apes, look, the ecosystem that you just walked into, this is how it goes. This is how the cement is paved for every stock all the time. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be outraged. That means that you should understand that this is how they've been manipulating everything for a long time. I'm sure they've been doing this for much longer than I've been involved in this. So, yes, know that as you go forward. That's what I came here to tell you guys. That this is how they operate. This is what they do. This is what they do with all the stocks. You go on the forums, you're going to see FUD. And here's the thing that also New Apes need to understand. If you're curious about what could go wrong in this ecosystem, in this environment, it is literally offensive. Absolutely and utterly offensive. It's like calling somebody a bad word. If you go up on a forum and post negative threads or doubt threads, let's say, for example, let's say I'm losing my faith in my favorite stock. So I say, man, what happens if the worst possible outcome takes place? And I post that? That's offensive. Because what you're essentially doing, it's not that your inquisition is offensive. It's that every bit of opinions, anyone's post of any kind, can send money in different directions depending on how people react to that post. This is why you have so many FUD pieces on various stocks, including AMC. This is why you have so many fake threads. This is why you have people, corporations, and companies mindlessly sending bots at you to push FUD into your ear. It's because money's involved, and there are other conflicting companies or competitive entities that are trying to pull money away from certain companies into the hands of their very own interests. That's why it's so offensive, because everyone somewhat understands that and does not speak up on things that they don't understand. If you're going to be exiting a position and you're leaving that position, if you post you're leaving, you're going to get attacked. Not just in the AMC threads, anywhere in the ecosystem of stocks. Because if you do that, essentially you're telling everybody that their investment should not have been invested in, and that the money that they're putting in should possibly be taken from you. You know, the money you're putting in should be taken from you. That's essentially what any and all FUD or doubt, fear, uncertainty, and doubt posts. That's what FUD stands for: fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's what that does. It offends the people who are supporting the stock, because essentially you're going to be taking money out of their pockets or trying to insinuate someone should pull their money away from their stock. So, yes, that's always going to be met as offensive. That's always going to be attacked by others, no matter where you go. That's just the environment you're in. So that's the importance of this. I'm sure many of YouTubers have probably already said this, although I just haven't heard it. I felt like it was important for me to put it out there and say, yo, this is what you're going to be dealing with until things change, and this is what we're trying to change. We don't want FUD posts. These type of things are not, you know what I mean? These articles, we understand that behind the curtain, these various news outlets are funded and or fully owned by hedge funds and a lot of entities that have their own interests wrapped up in specific things. They're not unbiased sources. That's the problem with these various spots of FUD, that you're not just getting this from people that that don't have skin in the game. You're getting this from people who are also betting one way or another, who have their own interests wrapped up in it, who have their boss's interests fully wrapped up in it. And they are affecting what happens in regards to those seeds that are planted in your head through these media outlets that I've described. The ecosystem is phony. That's what it comes down to. It's a phony ecosystem. It's fake. It's centered around attacking your emotions. It's centered around placing fear, uncertainty, and doubt in your mind so that you will either buy a certain way or sell a certain way. And they control the flow of money, thus control the flow of traffic. In financial media, just the same. It's a cycle. It's a cycle, and it's not specific to what we're looking at right here, new people. That's what it's about. That's all I wanted to say. So, yeah, I thank you guys for watching. My name is BDO44. I think I want to end the video here. I'm not a financial advisor, if I didn't already say that. I'm not even somebody who really understands stocks as fully as I'd like to. I still haven't jumped into the options side of the game. I don't know enough to really tell anybody anything, nor have I made enough money to feel confident that I should. But what I can tell you is the environment that you're in has existed. It's existed. And that the behavior you're seeing is normal for what it is that we're involved in. It is not normal as it pertains to how we think things should be done, how I think things should be done, how the fairness of it all. But as far as them manipulating people and blatantly sending corny, boomer type media, and that's what it is, y'all. I hate to say it, but that's what it is. These are tactics that have worked against the people behind us, people who have lived before us. And it's not that those people were stupid at all, or anything like that, or just super naive or anything retarded like that. It's just they found themselves in a space where they didn't have internet allowing them to communicate with one another as investors. They didn't have a support group to help them fend off the seeds of doubt. All they saw was a swiggly line going up or down and had to react to it accordingly. And that's where the news outlets come in, because people go to news outlets for direction. They want you to tell us if where I'm at is no good, tell me what else is out there for me. If what I'm in isn't the best valuation for what I'm involved in, let's find what else is out there. And see, the problem is that a lot of that stuff in regards to the FUD was just shrugged off, because the whole purpose of being in stocks, prior to this AMC thing, is through fundamentals. So we don't care what the Reuters are talking about. We don't care what Motley Fool are talking about, because I've done my due diligence. I know what I own. I'm paying attention, so I can ignore those guys. And that's the ecosystem. That's why it's going on for so long. It's not like the boomers of the world didn't understand what was happening to them. It was just one of those situations where it wasn't necessary to really pay it any attention because it's all about paying attention to the lines and the due diligence and the fundamentals and the numbers. But in regards to an AMC GME play, you remove the importance of the numbers. You remove the importance of due diligence, so to speak, as it pertains to paying attention to the numbers, fundamentals, and where the money's going and how the company's doing. Because it's just strictly a squeeze play, and everybody knows that the name of the game is to just hold. Doesn't matter what stock it is, as long as we're all in it and holding. So that's understood. You remove the necessary need for doing the math of it all, doing the due diligence part, so to speak, and all that good stuff. And now you're just left with people trying to plant seeds of doubt in your head. Now all you're left with is rooters, because it's the only people. That's the only thing standing between us and MOAS is our emotions and the people trying to help sway those emotions. That's it. Everything else is just making sure you build your position before MOAS takes place. So when you have that dynamic, now we're no longer ignoring the rooters. Now we look as the rooters as the only people in the room keeping us from what it is that we want, and swaying the people next to us who may not be as strong as we are. And that's why it's so much more important in regards to this play. The issue is those who are running the rooters, running the Motley Fools, running the different platforms, those folks, they're still applying the same game plan because those game plans have worked for many, many years. And when something works for many, many years, not only do you not change it, but you get comfortable with the playbook and you don't feel you need to change it. But the world has changed. And the same things that worked for them in the past are now working against them. And the more they run those things, the more people become passionate about rebelling against it. They need to wake up to what's going on and change the playbook quickly. And they have not done that. And that's what happens when you're fat and happy and weak. And something's been working forever. I always say indulgence is something that makes you weaker, because what ends up happening is you're sitting up enjoying success and you forget to play defense. You forget to switch up the game. You forgot to look around at the lay of the land and see if the foundation is still as strong as it used to be when you started building. You know what I mean? And that's what's going on. Now the foundation has changed. Now we're not standing on something as strong anymore. And they haven't changed the way things go here. They haven't adjusted to fit the times. The world has changed on them dramatically, and they're still looking at the people who are attacking them as little puppies that they don't have to take seriously. That's what's happening here. They still laugh at Wall Street bets. They still look at us as old wily kids. You internet guy. They don't realize the importance of what it is that we're doing. They don't realize that the future is headed in the direction that we take it. But they're going to find that out, because this event is going to be proof. And they will switch their game plan up after this fails dramatically. But right now, they're still in belief that they are big enough and that we are broke enough to eventually they will outlast us. We'll see how it plays out. I'll leave it at that. We'll see how it plays out. So that's what I wanted to do. Just want to bring awareness to everybody, how I feel about what I'm seeing, and also just make sure that I let people know that I'm also not a financial advisor. So with that being said, I'm going to keep holding my shares. I believe in what we're doing. It's already begun to work for me. I don't know who else is talking to whom, but I can tell you it's already begun to work for me. And at this point, it's just about waiting it out. And I plan on doing that. Whatever happens, happens. Straight up. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. My name is BDF44. Go AMC. I'm out.